Number 10. Issue 428. With this issue, the publishers were going to do a cover to look like a soap magazine. Now, I'm sick of Doctor Who being compared to soap operas. This is a show which is the longest running science fiction TV series ever created, and what we get is a soap style cover? It's just not my taste, but I guess kudos for them to trying. I don't think that the layout is terrible, it's just more of the idea behind it that they actually did this. Number 9. Issue 326. This is just nitpicking. Some may actually like this, which is fair enough. My main gripe with this is just the way the Dalek is displayed on the front cover. Number 8. Issue 423. Again, I can see what they were trying to do here. Some probably think that this is one of the better covers that was come out of Doctor Who magazine, but all this is just Amy's crack with a black background. Well, I just think it spoils the uniformity of the issues that came before and after this. Number 7. Issue 442. There have been a lot of illustrated covers from Doctor Who magazine, especially in the early days for the comic book strips that came inside. This 2011 Christmas edition, however, is one that I have grown to dislike for a few reasons. One being that the inclusion of Amy and Rory spells the ending of the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. And another being that I cannot stand that episode, because to me it is a steaming pile of shit. So the fact that we have a cover dedicated to that abomination of an episode is just downright insulting. Number 6. Issue 39. I can see what they were going for with this one. It was showcasing all the different spacecraft what viewers had become familiar with through the years, but it's just the presentation which, for me, lets this down. It's overall pretty downright disgusting. It's just the layout of it is just horrible. It's just disappointing. To be honest, they could have done a better job with this cover. Number 5. Issue 502. After the sublime 501st issue, we got this cover. This almost ticks all boxes for me, except we have what looks like a dodgy Photoshop image of Matt Lucas. I mean, for fuck's sake. It doesn't help that we don't like Nardole anyway, and the fact that I'm still questioning why he is being brought back into the show is beyond me. Fans have been crying out for a Captain Jack return for years, and we still haven't seen him return since the end of time, although he has appeared in Torchwood Miracle Day, and he is now in Torchwood audios made by Big Finish. I mean, for Christ's sake, name someone who actually was desperate to see Nardole come back to Doctor Who. He looks like one of those annoying little pricks that just stands there and pretends to be part of a group in a nightclub when they actually are just there to photobomb. He just ruins what is otherwise a nice photo of Peter Capaldi with his new companion, As Bill, played by Pearl Mackie. Number 4. Issue 491. This cover reminds me of the earlier ones. Apparently this one actually was rushed at the last minute, and you can really see this. Now, if this is something that came out, say, 30 years ago, then I totally dismiss this, because it would have been the norm that we got covers like this. This would not be on this list. However, as this was a very recent cover that only came out in the last year or so, I already find this one to be one of the worst ones ever, even when you compare it to one of the earliest ones from, say, the late 70s to the early 80s. Number 3. Issue 150. Here we have the number 150 with random photos scattered around it. It just seemed too lazy and rushed for a milestone edition of the magazine. Number 2. Issue 61. Now at first glance, yeah, the cover looks alright. It shows Peter Davison. However, one of the most important things that you need to do is make sure that you get the spellings right. especially when it comes to people's names. Peter's name has been spelt wrong. There was no excuse because this name was spelt correctly in previous issues. Why all of a sudden was it spelt as Davidson instead of Davison? Did they get a new editor or something? Moreover, the word Davidson does have some significance. Little did everybody know that nearly 30 years later, a man called David will become Peter Davison's son-in-law. David plus son. Now it all makes sense. And number 1 is issue 20. Couldn't they have gone to the effort of finding a better picture than this? Just look at it. You can't even see the eye stalk because it's covered up by the logo. It just seems like a half-arsed attempt at last minute here just to show some pictures of Daleks. So here you go. Well, the payoff is pretty rubbish.
No, you don't know it's a surprise. Okay, well,